Okay, ready for the party trick? 1, 2, 3. You're supposed to do that on cue. Okay, let's try it again. 1, 2, 3. Still nothing. Okay, you know what? Let's try it a different way. 1, 2, 3. No, German doesn't work. I don't know how to count in Japanese, so that's not going to work either. I got it. Here you go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, any suggestions? Because this ain't working. Okay, just don't count and it works. Here we go. So I was so taken by that V8 version of the LC500. I called up the folks at Lexus and said, you know what, send me one of those hybrid versions. I know the engine, propulsion system, all that stuff is different. And that's the reason why I want to drive it. But send me one a bit fancier. Because the other one, cool color, the burgundy with like the tan interior. This one, not a fan of the atomic silver. But wait until you see the inside. So what exactly happens when you add an H to LC500? Well, apparently you lose two things, specifically two cylinders, but you also gain a propulsion system. Now, there is an electric motor and obviously a gas engine. What's going on with the gas engine? Well, it's a 3.5 V6, 295 horsepower, comes in at 6,600 RPM, and 256 pounds of torque, comes in at 4,900 RPM, so it's really got to work to get some torque out of it. But being this is a hybrid, the total system horsepower with the electric motor is 354. Now, there's something else that happens, and that is they grafted on not one but two transmissions. We're going to cover that in the full first drive review, so make sure you come back for that. Other than that, it's basically less weight over the front wheels, so the weight distribution changes. It goes from 54/46 to 52/48 in the hybrid. So Kumo, who is still recuperating from his "I chased a squirrel and tore my meniscus" injury, was watching the LC500 tech review and suggested that perhaps I gushed a wee bit too much regarding the interior of that vehicle. So today I'm not going to make the same mistake, but I am going to gush over two things. Number one, a sunroof. It doesn't open, but at least I'm going to say arigato gozaimasu for giving us a sunroof and making some headway. And then number two, normally I never like to tell you what you guys can see, but I'm going to make an exception in this case. The interior is orange. Let me repeat that. The interior is orange, and it's wonderful. Now granted, if it was all orange, it would be like a cross between, say, a Dutch bank or 1960s era Batman, but in this case, it's mixed with this lovely blue, white cross stitch, and white seats. It is... you know what? Whoever is running color and trim at Lexus, bravo, or however you say that in Japanese. So remember in that Porsche Boxster GTS first drive review, I didn't have a whole hell of a lot to share with you on driving dynamics in that car because it was effectively same as the Boxster and Cayman S we drove a couple of months before that. Same kind of deal here because all of the bits underneath the LC500H are kind of the same as the LC500 with the exception of the second propulsion system and all the batteries. But something does change, and that is the weight. And this is where we have to go back to a lesser Toyota product, which is the Avalon. I am somewhat taken in how the weight differential now in hybrids has changed drastically. It used to be, what, 800 pounds difference. Now it's down to 155 pounds difference between the LC500 and the LC500H. And that's considering all of the packaging and two propulsion systems under the same carrying case. Okay, so there's still two rather important topics you and I need to cover. One is a favorite of mine, and that is the mass. If you remember the LC500 with the V8, that episode, not exactly a lightweight at 4,280 pounds. This, kind of a bargain here. If you think about, you subtract 2 cylinders, add not 1 but 2 electric motors, 2 sorted transmissions, the batteries, and all the packaging for it, it only has a weight penalty of 155 pounds, which I'm kind of surprised about. Toyota, Lexus, and some others are getting better at the packaging of all this extra stuff. So 4,435 pounds, but still, it's a 4,500 pound car. How does that impact the overall reason for being, which is the fuel economy? Here it's 26 around town, 35 on the highway, and 30 combined. Not bad when you consider the weight, size, and the way this thing looks, which you and I are going to spend some time talking about in the full first drive review, so make sure you come back for that. I'll give you some real world numbers there. And then I'm gonna leave you with a question. And I know, I've been good about not talking about Lotus for a very long time, but I'm gonna bring it up now. And it's because my experience as a multiple Lotus owner, I've actually gotten really good fuel economy. That wasn't the reason why I bought the car, but there were many times driving around town in the leases that I was turning 38 mpg, but then I started driving 911s, and I gotta tell you, man, maybe not 38, but 32, 33 was very reasonable. So my question to you is this: when one looks to buy a vehicle like this, is fuel economy ever a concern? Like, do you say to yourself, man, oh man, that car's really good looking and has an orange interior, but I wish it had 30 combined mpg? So that's my question. Is it an impact, or do you choose one over the other because of the fuel economy? And if so, what was it? And most importantly, what region of the world do you hail from, and were you trying to get around taxiing? Let me know in the comments below or via our social media, MotoManTV all one word, MotoManTV all one word, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And until I see you in the full first drive review of the Lexus LC500h with an orange interior and a sunroof, bis später.